got a man now. I heard you a fan now. It's a little bit too late to take care of me.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm just going to show you how I will bleach my frontal or closure. What you would need is, I have two of these developers right here just because I don't know which one is which, but I use 40 volume developer, and this is by Clear Raw Professionals. I use a dye brush, a little bowl, and this is DW2 extra strength bleach powder, and I also use Shimmer Lights shampoo. You can also use the ISO Plus because that also works to stop the bleaching process as well. This works to get rid of any of the brassiness, and then you're also going to need some aluminum foil. So what I'm going to do is take a piece of aluminum foil. The closure I'm using is this one, and it's by DYHAIR777, and I just want to show you the packaging. It's from this hair company right here, and it feels really nice. Like, it's really soft, and it just really looks nice. I can't wait to install it. The hairline is pre-plucked on this one. Then you have some baby hairs and stuff. The inside just looks like that. It does have an adjustable strap, and this is a 360 closure, and there are the straps right there. So what I'm doing is just pulling the hair through, and so it'll lay flatter. So I'm going to do one scoop, two scoop, and three scoops. And you're really just going to pour it until you get the consistency that you want. You kind of want it to be thick and not runny, so that it doesn't run through and bleach the actual strands of your hair or your unit closure. As you can see, this is super powdery, so I'm going to add some more developer. It's like an eyeball thing. Like, you just got to eyeball it. So this is kind of where I want it. When I get all the clumps out, it'll be perfect. So you want it to like be like that. Like, you want it to stick to the brush. So now what I'm going to do is, hopefully you guys can see me, sweep it onto the closure or the frontal. And I'm focusing a lot on the hairline because that's the part that we need to blend the most.
Be checking up on you, baby.
I'll take another piece and just sit it over top of that, not pushing it down, just sitting it over top, and leave that there for about 15 minutes, and then I'll check. Okay, so it's been about 25 minutes from underneath, and to see if it's not any more black knots that you might see. And I don't know if you guys are getting a good look, but I'll try to pull it up without bleaching my hand. Knots are gone, so it's ready to be washed out. So I'm just gonna rinse it out. can use your Isto Plus neutralizing shampoo, but I'm going to go ahead and use my Shimmer Lights. I feel like if you rinse it out good enough that you don't need to use 2 different shampoos. So I'm just going to stick to this one. And I love the color and smell of this one.
I was checking this girl next door when her parents went out. She phone say, hey boy, come on right around. So I knock at the door, he was standing with a bottle of red wine, ready to pour, dressed in long black satin.
What I have is a styrofoam mannequin, which you can get from not the dollar store, but a beauty supply store anywhere or online that sells beauty products. I got mine from my local beauty supply store, if I'm not mistaken, and I think I have like 2 from there, and then I have 2 from eBay. So yeah, and it's just a plain old styrofoam cap or styrofoam head, and she cost about $2-3, maybe $4 the most. So over top of that, over the styrofoam, because I used to just work with the plain white styrofoam. However, I found it easier for me to, when I was making units for customers and for myself, white pieces of the styrofoam would like come out because I was poking it with the needle. So, and it would get inside the wig and it just would be too much to get it out and all of this shaking and stuff. So what I came up with was covering her with a black stocking or knee high. And then I'll take it off. A lot of people ask where I get my stand from. This is just a stand that came with my backdrop. I also use like a ring light stand. I just have so many different stands because I have 2 ring lights and then I have a backdrop. So I have like 2 or 3 of these for my backdrop and then I have 2 for my ring light. So I have 4 in total. And then anyways, as you can see, these type of styrofoams come with a hole at the bottom. So I just stuff the rest of the knee high up there and I just go in there like that. So it works out just fine. Now the reason she has tape on her head is because when you're sewing and you put your cap on the head, you don't want to sew through the cap and the knee high because then you're going to have a wig that's stuck to a knee high, and you don't want that because again, you won't be able to get it off and you'll be wearing a knee high on your head and you will have to keep replacing your knee high over and over. So what I do is just take pieces of tape and put it on the perimeter and on just everywhere on the top of the head so that the dome cap doesn't stick to the actual stocking cap. So you're definitely going to need some type of cap to make your wig on. I use dome caps. I've been using them since day one. Hair scissors is preferred just in case you want to actually cut the hair later on. So also like little clips to hold the hair in place. I'm using nylon thread. It tends to snap less, and I just got these off eBay, a dozen for like, I don't remember how much, but it was pretty cheap. If I remember, I'll put it in the link below, but yeah, it just looks like this, and this is how big the spool is. I have some foam wrapping lotion, which I just use as a mousse. So I have a bottle of water. You might not need to do this, but I like to make sure the closure is as laid as possible. You might need a heat styling tool, curling wire, flat iron, whatever, after you make your wig. Also, might need a comb, wide tooth, tail comb, whatever your preference is, a tweezer to pluck your closure or hairline, and also some elastic to secure your wig. So lastly, what you're going to need is some bundles, and I'm using bundles by DYHAIR777, and this is how it comes packaged, and I really love their bag because it's really useful, handy. So I have a 20-inch bundle, an 18-inch bundle, and a 22-inch bundle, as well as I believe a 16-inch 360 closure. Inside they also put a pair of lashes and an information card. Just going to not stretch it too much, but I start by pinning the back. And then I pin the sides. On the inside, you have the adjustable straps, which tells you basically where the front and the back is on your closure. The front, and I would just slide it on like that, and I bring it to where the tip of the hairline is at the tip of the dome cap. And I just take a pin and stick it right in. So everybody make their units differently. I tend to take the part that is separated on the bundle and keep them together, and the first track going across here is usually doubled when I do it. Okay, so this seems to be the hardest part. This seems to be the hardest part for the camera for the viewers to see, but I'm gonna try to make it as simple as possible. Make sure it's latched onto the dome cap and not just the 360 frontal. So what I did, just slid my fingers underneath to get a grip. And once it's through, I'm gonna pull it through. And my thread is a little long because I don't like constantly threading the needle, so yeah. So in the beginning, I'm going to continue to go through both tracks. And what I'm going to do before I pull the needle all the way through, I'm going to take the thread 1, 2, 3, wrap it around the needle 3 times, and then pull it through to make a semi knot. And you don't want to pull it through too fast because it might get tangled up. Nylon thread is supposed to tangle less, but it still tangles sometimes. So you just want to pull it and push it so that it's tight. And I'm going to do that about once or twice more to make sure that this is secure and doesn't come loose. So now that you got the first end secure, you don't have to worry about it coming loose because you did it several times. You're going to go ahead and remove the T-pin. So now I think this method is known as the fence method or whatever method you want to call it. But once you put it in and come out, it looks like a fence. Again, I'm still going through the dome cap, the lace frontal, and I'm going underneath the 2 wefts. And I'm going to put it through and pull it in between the thread. I'm going to do this more than once so you guys can see. And I'm going to zoom in as well so you guys can see. So I'm putting the needle in. I'm holding this one in my hand. This strand is over here. Putting the needle in between both of them and pulling it through. And as you can see, it starts to build a mini fence, if you can see that. But you're going to see as I do it all the way down. I'm just gonna cut the remainder, avoiding cutting the knot. Okay. The reason I started on the open part is because now I have a full bundle and it's just one line. So that's why I'm gonna do the fold over method with this, okay? So now we have single wefts. We don't have to worry about trying to get it through the double wefts. And basically, just gonna put the needle through here and stick it onto the cap. I'm gonna pull it all the way over here so that it stays up.
I was checking this girl next door when her parents went out. She phone say, hey boy, come on right around. So I knock at the door, you were standing with a bottle of red wine, ready to pour, dressed in long black satin, lace to the floor.
So right here at the end, I'm gonna go through the weft and do the little knot. I'm gonna pull it through and I'm gonna do the fold over method. So I'm gonna go through the weft. However, once you put it through, I like to go in right here, through the hole, and pull the needle through. And that's how I get the fence method going back the other way. Now I'm gonna start to go under the weft instead of through it.
Whenever the coast was clear and she'd ask me to come out, I'd say, hey girl, come right around. So she knocked at the door, I was standing with the keys in my hand to the 4x4, jumped in my ride, chicken and nobody saw. The club we went in, we got down, bound to the rhythm. So it was early morning, thought we better be leaving. So I gave you my jacket for you to hold. Told you to wear it cause you felt cold. I mean, I didn't mean to break the rules. I wasn't trying to play among that for fools. But we were just doing things young people love to.
Okay, so far this is what we have. Still braided, the frontal still braided, we didn't touch that. And then we have 2 bundles in, and if I can get the mannequin off of the thing. So this is the curl pattern, which isn't bad, but I still like tighter curls. This is like a really loose body wave. So this is how thick it is right now. And the closure is not unbraided, so you can't really see the full density of it. I just smooth the extra space up and then just folded that extra netting over, and I'm gonna just stick a T-pin in there to make sure this is flat right here.
All they seem to do is be checking up on you, baby. Watching our every move, think someday they might approve, baby.
That you see, this is where we folded it earlier, and I just put the track right on top of that. So yeah, don't worry about it being extra or hanging out, just sew right through it, just like it's the dome cap or whatever kind of cap you're using. and make sure you go through or under the weft. We're gonna sew that last layer of hair right here. As you see the lace, the camera wants to keep refocusing, but we're just gonna sew right on the very edge so that it doesn't space or gap up.
I was checking this girl next door when her parents went out. She phone say, hey boy, come on right around. So I knock at the door, you were standing with a bottle of red wine, ready to pour, dressed in long black satin.
Just flipped her inside out, just like a boom, boom. And I'm gonna cut off the excess dome cap around here, pin down the lace. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Basically what I'm going to do now is cut off the lace, and I am finito.
Nobody saw. You could be running, we got down, bound to the rhythm. So it was early morning, thought we better be leaving. So I gave you my jacket for you to hold. Told you to wear it cause you felt cold. I mean, I didn't mean to break the rules. I weren't trying to play among bad for fools. But we were just doing things and people loved you. Parents trying to find out what we were up to. Saying, why were you creeping around?